Hey there, I'm Lee Kellogg, and thank you for joining me today on this next installment of Nature Journaling Adventures. Today, we are going back into Pine Nursery Park just because it's so convenient and so full of fun things to look at. We're going to stop at the elementary school on the way over, and then we're going to go explore some flowers in the park. Today's theme is invasive species. So we're looking at some couple of flowers that are very pretty to look at. They look great, but they actually are invasive, and especially in agricultural areas because cattle don't like to eat them, and they tend to reproduce and spread rapidly. Both of these two the two different species that we're looking at, their seeds will lie dormant in the soil for up to 5 years before they decide to sprout and grow. So you think you have a field cleared and eradicated, and boop, they pop up again. So that's, flowers that, if we're not in agriculture, we think they're interesting, we think they're pretty, and they are. They have a place in the world. The knapweed that we're going to look at, most of them, I believe all of them, I'm not positive about this because it's sort of hard to find the research. Anyway, came from Europe, probably came in cattle feed before the restrictions were put in place, and this was in the 1800s. About the same time, Russian thistle, which is tumbleweed, showed up in this country, and cheatgrass and a bunch of other things that cause us problems in the cattle industry. So it's all related to the cattle industry for as far as what's considered invasive species, though some people do like to grow these in their yards, and they can be an issue in your garden too, because there are plants that like to take over, so to speak. But let's go look at what I discovered and my drawings, and we'll get to it. So this plant that we're looking at here, this is spotted knapweed, and I'm at the butterfly garden at our local grade school, and it's all over this field, this little corner where they're trying to grow milkweed and such. And it has more or less taken over everything, so that all you see is spotted knapweed. And that's our first drawing. Today is being just rather an awkward day for me, and the lighting is weird because it's almost noon, so it's super harsh, it's super windy today, and I'm just getting out while I can today because I've got a lot going on. This is mullein, a common mullein. Some people grow it in their yards, but as you can see, we've got quite a spread here. It is another invasive species, so that's our theme for today, is what looks like wildflowers that are actually invasive. This is native to North America, but it does like to spread really well. It is pretty. I've seen woodpeckers on them in the past, and other birds use them, like the spotted knapweed. The birds do utilize these flowers. Got the spotted knapweed and the common mullein done. There's our common mullein. Alrighty, so we are actually in a traffic circle at the park, which is my next stop, and they've planted a lot of wildflowers in the traffic circle. There's some black-eyed Susan. We're coming down closer. Here's some black-eyed Susan. Today's thing, though, is spotted knapweed, and I found this one, and even Seek doesn't identify it. It just says it's knapweed and not spotted knapweed. That's my mistake. And it's a lot larger. The petals are fairly well defined. Trying to get this focused for you and keep the wind off my AirPods so I can speak. But anyway, this is the one we're going to draw. Out in the field also are some more spotted knapweeds growing out there. Harder to see, but here you go. So let's do our drawing. Right, we got this mysterious knapweed done. I'll have to see if I can find it in the ID, but I'm not holding my breath because there are so many different kinds of knapweed. But there we are, another knapweed done. I would probably still classify this one as an invasive species in the right situation. Alrighty, this knapweed is brown knapweed, so I suspect the one that I sketched in the traffic circle is probably black knapweed. They all have different scientific names. They, truthfully, I can't tell you the difference other than looking at some of these. The flower petals look a little different. Little different, but a lot of times flowers are identified when you start dissecting them and look at how the sepals and the stamen act. So this is a little slightly damper area than where we've been previously, because we've got right over here an outflow from a pond that is behind me. And I apologize for the wind. It's just a super, super windy day. So brown knapweed, let's do a sketch, add it to the collection of our invasive species today.
Is that with Christy's in front and Nate?
All right, so there's the brown knapweed, there's the page. Lay it down, it's a little easier, not so much shadow. The brown knapweed is on the right, and I'm guessing that this one that I drew from the traffic circle is black knapweed. Can't tell you exactly what the difference is, other than in this one I'm noticing the center of the flowers is white, and as I said earlier, you have to dissect the flowers to really know what's going on. So there we are, another nature journaling. So thank you for watching. I hope you've learned a little bit about knapweed and common mullein, and maybe not, that's okay, but I hope you had fun watching this. I hope you're inspired to go out and be creative and do something out in nature, because that is really where the healing comes from. It helps you get inspired, fills up the creative well, and makes life in general a whole lot more bearable anytime you spend time outdoors, whether it's camping or just a walk in the park to look at the birds and the flowers that change seasonally, a walk in your neighborhood, look at other people's yards, what have they planted. Get out, be inspired, stay creative, and do your journal. I'm Lee Kellogg, and you can find more on my website at leekellogg.com or on this YouTube channel, Lee Kellogg. See you next time.